my kitties, today I'm here bringing you a little bit of holiday cheer. And what is this holiday cheer, you may ask? Well, it's the joy of Halloween. What else is better than spending your sugar-induced nights than by playing a horror suspense game? So what game have I got in store for you today? Well, it's none other than 5 Days a Stranger. Roll the intro. 5 Days a Stranger is a point-and-click adventure game that was released on September 23rd of 2003. The game was developed by the man known simply as Yeousch, who surprisingly has also gone on to publish novels such as Mogworld and Fogjuice. Brilliant. Aside from that, the creator seemed to be all over the place and is even part of a channel called The Escapist. Interesting to say the least, but I digress. Starting up the game, we're introduced to the settings box. If there's anything I want to see while starting up a game, it's this. The game opens up with a short little narrative by our main protagonist, Trilby, the gentleman thief. He's a cat burglar that steals from the homes of the innocents, claiming to steal only what he's absolutely sure nobody is using. Good luck trying to reason with the judge like that, Mr. Trilby. The beginning of the story follows Trilby as he breaks into the Defoe Manor, a home which was presumably abandoned after its residents have committed suicide shortly after their marriage. A rather abrupt opening for a game, but it works at the very least. The game starts off with Trilby breaking into an office on the second story of the manor, whose window coincidentally had been left open. Upon checking the safe for valuables and finding close to nothing of particular interest, Trilby tries to leave the room through the window, which has been mysteriously jarred shut upon entry. Finding no other route, our hero proceeds to attempt the only possible choice he could do. The front door. Of course. Trilby proceeds to leaving the small office-like area and seeing a figure that immediately runs and pleads for his life. Let's just call him Applejack. So upon seeing Applejack run for his life as if he just saw a ghost, Trilby begins the search for the nearest exit. While searching, he finds a man that goes by the name of Philip, and I must say, he's a bit of a douchebag. Let me explain. Upon entering the house, he immediately assumes you're a rescue team that's here to free him. Once he discovers who Trilby is, he continues to rant about how untrustworthy he is, even though he also takes pleasure in looting houses for valuables, and accuses you of the murder of Applejack. Oh, right. Spoilers! Applejack gets dead. He was so young. Now, without spoiling too much of the story for you, I will tell you this. The game has quite an intriguing plot that it's wise to read through every last bit of dialogue, as it is important to not only knowing what's going on, but how to beat the game. Speaking of telling you how to beat the game, shall I go into the portion where the game expects you to know how to play? Seriously. You get thrown into the first room of the game with little to no instruction whatsoever. While in most point-and-click adventure games it's kind of an obvious thing, this one is a bit of an exception. There are 4 icons for interaction in this game: movement, interaction, observation, and speak. While this is a very simple interface, the thing that is not simple is clicking on the icon to gain said cursor. While picking the action button, it may very well be like fishing for Froggy in Sonic Adventure. The cursor changes are nice and well made, but the way that they're actually set up is a bit of a pain. Each icon has its own unique place where the tip of your cursor actually is, which is nice but not implemented very well. As you may have seen at the beginning, I was playing in windowed mode to record this game, and it was a pain in the arse to get the cursor I wanted to cooperate with me. Simply put, each cursor has its own cursor point, and you have to know where it is if you want to pick any of the other cursors. I'll put an example on screen of how the cursors are set up, and it may seem fine now, but remembering that I had to play in windowed mode made this a bit more of a pain, as if I were to say get the movement cursor, I had to move my mouse ridiculously low to click on the other icon. You can even see the movement cursor disappearing as I try to pick another. While I admit that this is a bit of a nitpick at the game, it may also cause a little bit of frustration later on when time is of the essence and you need to respond quickly or die. Speaking of death, I've never seen the death animation in this game. Let's have a look, shall we? Well, that was anticlimactic. I also believe that the only time when death is really something to worry about The only time this character ever appears is when a cutscene ensues, and even at that, I rarely see him. Now that I tapped the story slightly along with the controls, let's just tap on the music. From what I know, there are only 4 tracks in the game, and only 2 of which are heard frequently throughout the game. Not much is to be said here beside the fact that after being lost for a few hours, I wouldn't blame you for muting the ever-looping game and play some of your own music while trudging forth. And yes, I was stuck for a few hours because I simply forgot to pick up and read a newspaper. The game has its flaws, but it is by no means a bad game. Considering how it's a free-to-play game and it will definitely keep you entertained for a few hours, it's definitely worth a try for your Halloween night. If this isn't quite enough for you, it's alright because there's more games in the series such as 6 Days of Sacrifice and 7 Days of Skeptic, which, very coincidentally, during the production of this review, Lucajin has started a Let's Play on. If I were to give this game a score, it'd be positive. Yeah, that works. Positive.